Savannah Guthrie, the poised co-anchor of the Today Show, has long been the morning companion millions rely on. Her warm smile, incisive questions, and composed presence make even the heaviest news easier to digest. For over a decade, she has interviewed presidents, navigated stories of national tragedy, and shared her own journey through motherhood and personal hardships. Yet, despite the image of perfection she presents on air, Savannah has carried secrets that predate her television career. Secrets so carefully hidden that even her closest family might never have guessed their existence. A disappearance that shook the family. On February 10th, 2026, the Guthrie family faced an unprecedented crisis. Nancy N.Y. Guthrie, Savannah's mother, had been missing for 10 agonizing days. Crime scene tape fluttered around her quiet Tucson home, while FBI agents and local detectives combed the surrounding desert without leads. Volunteers searched tirelessly, drones scanned from above, yet the situation offered no answers. The tension in Savannah's temporary Tucson command center was palpable. But a single phone call that morning would crack open more than just the mystery of NY's disappearance. It would expose the hidden chapters of Savannah's life, revealing a past she had carefully buried for decades. The call that changed everything. At 8:45 a.m., Savannah received a call on her personal cell, expecting another routine update from law enforcement. She stepped onto the back patio. The voice on the line, a woman in her mid-50s, immediately unsettled her. "Savannah, it's Elena. We need to talk now about your mother and everything you've kept hidden." Savannah froze. Elena, a name from her past that she hadn't spoken aloud in decades, resurfaced like a ghost. The caller revealed details only someone intimately familiar with Savannah's secret life could know, shattering her carefully constructed reality. By the time the call ended, Savannah's composure had crumbled for the first time since the crisis began. A family confrontation back inside, Savannah called an emergency family huddle, excluding law enforcement. With Annie and Cameron at her side, she confessed a truth long kept in the shadows. She had lived a double life, one that began when she was just 16. Beneath the perfect veneer her mother had cultivated, Savannah had built an entirely separate identity, a self that was messy, authentic, and entirely her own. For decades, she had balanced these two worlds, the obedient daughter and the girl drawn to freedom, creativity, and connection outside her mother's rigid expectations. Savannah's childhood in Tucson. Born Savannah Clark Guthrie in 1971, she grew up in Tucson with an ordinary childhood on the surface. Her father died when she was 16, leaving New York to raise Savannah, Annie, and Cameron with steadfast determination. New York's love was fierce but demanding. "Choose joy," she would say, teaching resilience above all else. For Savannah, these lessons were both grounding and confining. The pressure to excel academically, socially, and morally left her craving an escape, a place where she could explore her identity without judgment, without the constant gaze of a mother who measured worth by performance and composure. Elena, the spark of freedom. That escape arrived in the form of Elena Ramirez, a 19-year-old artist and activist. Elena ran an underground Tucson youth group, offering teens a space to explore their identities beyond parental or societal expectation. She was magnetic, creative, and unapologetically herself, a stark contrast to the controlled life Savannah knew at home. Their connection began in 1988 when Savannah stumbled upon a flyer at school. Elena quickly became more than a friend. She was a lifeline. With her, Savannah experienced freedom, authenticity, and love unburdened by perfection, a hidden life that coexisted alongside her daytime persona. The secret life of a teen. For Savannah, this second life was intoxicating yet fraught with tension. Between high school classes, debate team victories, and college applications, she navigated secret meetings, whispered conversations, and coded correspondence with Elena. The intensity of maintaining two identities shaped Savannah into the disciplined, resilient woman the public sees today. But it came at the cost of isolation and fear. The emotional stakes of this hidden world were high. One misstep could have exposed her to NY's wrath, jeopardized her academic future, and ended the first love she ever truly experienced. Rediscovered threads of the past. During the family meeting, Savannah revealed an envelope she'd kept hidden for decades. Inside were photos, letters, and a handwritten list of names from her activist days, one circled in red. Ricky Torres. FBI agents quickly ran his records. Though he had been off the grid for years, recent sightings in Tucson suggested a possible connection to NY's disappearance. For the first time in 10 days, Savannah felt the stirrings of hope. This was not just a missing persons case anymore. It was a collision of past and present, where old secrets might finally shed light on current peril. Reconciling past and present. Standing on the porch later that afternoon, Savannah confronted the weight of her double life. Elena appeared at her side. No words needed at first. The two women who had shared a profound connection decades ago now faced the challenge of bridging 3 decades of secrecy. Elena's presence was grounding, a reminder that love and loyalty had survived despite distance and silence. For Savannah, it was a rare moment of release, allowing her to embrace her full identity. Clark, Savannah, daughter, lover, survivor, without apology or regret. The power of truth. The revelation of her secret past did more than shock her family. It changed Savannah herself. No longer solely the polished morning anchor or the dutiful daughter, she became someone capable of embracing complexity and uncertainty. The layers of her identity, once compartmentalized and hidden, merged into a coherent whole, giving her clarity and resolve. This newfound honesty was more than cathartic, it was strategic. To save her mother, she had to confront the past, acknowledge the mistakes, and mobilize resources in ways that only someone intimately tied to decades-old events could. Looking ahead, as the sun set behind the Catalina Mountains, Savannah and Elena stood together, witnessing the desert turn a bruised purple. Their reunion was bittersweet, underscored by Nancy's still missing presence. Yet the bond they had nurtured across decades provided Savannah with strength she had not realized she possessed. With investigative leads connecting Ricky Torres and other remnants of her hidden life, the pieces were slowly aligning. Savannah now faced a future that intertwined her past secrets with urgent present dangers. How she navigates this collision may determine not just her mother's fate, but the contours of her own identity, embracing complexity. For the first time since she was 16, Savannah allowed herself to exist without the need to perform. Her identity, long divided between duty and desire, had merged into a single, powerful self. The challenges ahead, investigating old associates, uncovering hidden motives, and facing public scrutiny, would be daunting. But Savannah had learned the resilience of living in dual worlds, the courage of confronting fears, and the enduring power of truth. Amid the desert dusk, she felt a fragile but vital hope that embracing her whole self was the first step toward bringing her mother home.